Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man, and it's time to make some soap. As you can probably tell, I'm not in either of my soap labs. I'm currently at St. Pete Beach, Florida. It's Friday, December the 13th. This is our last day, but just kind of wanted to share this with you for those of you who haven't been able to go to the beach for a while. Of course, you probably know St. Pete is one of the areas that got hit really hard by back-to-back hurricanes. And at least in the tourist section where we are, things are for the most part back to normal. There are some hotels still closed, a few restaurants still closed, but for the most part, everything is back to normal. And St. Pete Beach has huts on the beach that have always inspired me to do a soap when I come back. There's only one of those still left, and it's actually quite a ways down the beach, and I'm just not really going to walk that far at this point. But let's go ahead and get on the airplane, head back home, get a good night's sleep, and head out Saturday the next day and start building some soap, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. But just a quick peek at St. Pete Beach, everything's back to normal. So I will see you, and let's get ready to make some soap. Bye. Okay, it's the next day, and I'm back home, back to reality. We touched down about 9 o'clock last night, had a car covered in snow, drove home in a snowstorm. Fortunately, it's only about a 15-minute drive. So yeah, left sunny, warm Florida, back to West Virginia where it's cold. Anyway, it's time to do the soap. I always do this when I come back from St. Pete Beach, which is talked about in the intro. So the bottom layer is going to be Snake Island from Mad Micas. The second layer is going to be Blue Tide from Mad Micas. The third is going to be Blue Tide with titanium dioxide to lighten it up. And then the fourth is just white with titanium dioxide. I get mine from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Going to fragrance this with Nurture Handmade's 8th and Ocean. This is the top favorite from them. In case you don't know, Nurture Soap is now Nurture Homemade. I've used this for years and years. It behaves like a dream and really holds its scent. Now, since I'm doing layers, I'm going to do quite a good bit of stick blending, but my batter is also going to be really warm. I'm doing the heat transfer method, and this room is really hot, and there's no way to control it because it's the boiler system for the whole building. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get everything mixed up. I'm going to have a warm batter, but that'll be good for layers. So give me a minute to get set up, and we'll get started on this. Okay, I'm back, and it's time to get started with our bottom layer, which is going to be the Snake Island. And since this is going to be, obviously, a long video, or would be, I'm going to do a lot of cutting. I'm going to show you mixing the first layer. You've watched me mix soap before. So this is our Snake Island. Just give it a hand stir. And all of the batter has just been hand stirred, so I should have ample time to work. Nothing's been stick blended at all. And there's our beautiful dark green. And let's put a quarter of our fragrance in here. Of course, just going to eyeball it like usual. Looks about right. Give it a hand stir. And since I know this fragrance really behaves well, and this has not been stick blended at all, I'm going to give it a pretty hefty one because I want it to set up quickly in the mold, so I'm not here all day waiting for layers to set up. Yeah, that's setting up a little faster than I thought it would because it's so warm, so that's good. So let's get this into the mold. And I'm going to do textured layers, so I'm not worried about this being smooth. And I'm going to put a mica line in between. This is Nurture Handmade's Shimmer Gold, which is my favorite. So I'm going to let that firm up, texture it, put the mica line on, and then I'll be back for the second layer. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, next is our blue tie. I changed my mind. I am going to show mixing because some people really like watching the colors mix in. And I know when I watch Cheryl's videos, I like to see it too. So this is just straight blue tide. Put a quarter of our fragrance in. Let's give it a good buzz. And let's get this into the mold. So I went ahead and textured this and got the mica line on it, so it's looking good. And I know that that can definitely support this, but I am going to pour it over a spatula just the same because I don't want it to disturb or move that mica. There we go. I'll be back for the next layer. Okay, it's time for our next layer, which is going to be blue tide mixed with titanium dioxide. This is just the blue tide. I'm going to put the fragrance in just a minute because I'm going to stick blend the titanium dioxide directly in like I normally do, most of the time at least. So just kind of plop that in the center. And get the stick blender head on top and trap it underneath it. Push it down and hold it down, turn it on, and hold it for a few seconds. I'm just going to hand stir the fragrance. It's a little thick because it's been sitting, obviously. And the fragrance will actually thin it out some. And in this instance, being thick is not a problem because it'll just set up faster for the layer and I'll have less time in between waiting. So let's hand stir this in and we'll get this into the mold. Once again, it's nice and firm, but I am going to pour it over a spatula just to protect the mica layer. And I hope I don't regret not stick blending this because it's nice and fluid. But I have plenty to do in the background off camera while this sets up, so you won't have to wait. there we go. I'll be back for the top layer. And here we go with our final layer. I went ahead and mixed this one up off camera. And I did dilute the TD with water this time because it's getting a tad thick on us just from sitting so long. But even so, look how fluid it still is right now after putting the fragrance in. I can see I did disturb a little bit of the mica line. I see some on top, but no worries. Nice and fluid. So what we'll do is let that sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to texture it to kind of look like the ocean waves. I'll spray it with some rubbing alcohol to prevent soda ash. Let it sit for 5 minutes, squirt it again, put it to bed, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the cut. So here is our St. Pete Beach inspired soap. See you tomorrow for the cut. Bye, everybody. Okay, it's the next day and I'm back and it's time to cut our soap. I went ahead and split the log to save a little time, and I can tell you already, it looks great. The pour went exactly as planned. The colors are exactly what I wanted. Beautiful mica line. It really shows up. Really happy with this one. So let's just cut these into some bars and see what we have. And I imagine the bars are all going to look very, very similar. Very nice. Yep, so let's go ahead and get the other logs, but I am just certain they're going to look the same. See, this is our center log. Oops. I forget to clean the wires sometimes in between, and it just leaves soap residue on them, but I do sometimes forget to do that. Yep, as suspected, this is the center log, and it's going to look the same. So I will go ahead and cut this other one off camera, and then I'll line them up and take some pictures of it like I always do. But this is exactly what I was hoping for. I am really pleased with these. And once again, I cannot say enough good about 8th and Ocean fragrance oil from Nature Handmade. It's awesome. So anyway, that is what I have this week. And like always, I want to thank you all for watching and all your support. And next week is Christmas, so to all my Christian friends, I hope you have a blessed and meaningful Christmas. And you all stay safe and take good care of yourselves. And by the way, I think Hanukkah falls on the same year as Christmas this year. So to all my Jewish friends out there, wish you a happy and blessful and meaningful Hanukkah. Stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and be blessed. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.